Hi everyone, Emma here. I wanted to show you how to add a clasp to your bracelet. So this bracelet is a design from Bronzepony. So I will link the post to her design. I did mine slightly differently, and in my next video I'm going to show you what I did differently to accommodate for a larger Rivoli. So that's fun. And then I added my pearls separately. I tried to do it the way she had it, and I just didn't like the way the pearls were sitting, so I did it this way. And this actually worked out for me because I did 8 components. The pearls in between, the 4mm pearls, actually added enough along with this brace or this clasp, which is 3 centimeters long. And then we're going to attach them with these pearls on either end, and that will bring this bracelet exactly to 7.5. And I find that when I ask people their size, 7.5 seems to be the normal size. And let me just do a little adjusting. So let's get started. Now I'm currently using this thread that I had, which is a size 5 dragon thread, and that's what I use to attach the pearls. I was going to try a thicker thread, but decided to keep it this size so that I could get through multiple times through the pearls and through the seed beads, and it worked out really well. This seems really sturdy, so I'm not too concerned. Normally when I add the bracelet, I switch my thread out and add new thread, and at that point you can add a thicker thread if you're concerned, but again I think I'm going to be okay since these guys worked really well. So let's get started. Now with this, I added all my components together on one thread using the pearls for the connection points. And so that's the thread that I have left, and this is where it's coming out of this large, well, it's an 11/0. So what we need to do is we want to attach here to these. Let me enlarge this a bit and see if I can get it nice and focused, because it's pretty small. So if you look at your bracelet, it has these little kind of star patterns of 11/0s. So you want to be in the bottom one to attach your pearls and your clasp. So let me bring my thread up from the bottom piece. So let's go through these 15 O's and then through that 11/0, and we're set to go. So you're going to pick up a pearl and then your clasp. Now if you put your clasp next to it, you can see this clasp works really well. So I think we're going to attach it at this section here. So there's an opening there and there's an opening there, and it's the same on the other side. So we can add a pearl here and a pearl there. So let's go through that side hole and through the middle like that. And that's what it's going to look like. So now we're going to go back through the pearl. And if this is loose, it's no big deal because it'll all tighten when you bring it all together. So now what I try to do is go to the opposite side of the 11/0. So we started on this side of the 11/0. We're going to come to the other side. And we're going to go through this a few times. And you can, if you're concerned, you could actually go through your work and then come back around the pearl. But I think this should be fine. So we're going to go through the pearl again. I'm going to do it at least twice, if not 3 times. So through the side like that. So thank you very much to Stephanie for this awesome design. I love her designs and I love her tutorials. So I was feeling a bit kind of down, and I was like, what will make me feel better? One of Stephanie's designs, doing one of her bracelets. So that's what I did. So thank you, Stephanie, for helping me with my mental health. So I think what we'll do is we'll go through one more time. So make it 3 on each. Okay. Through the pearl, through the side and back up, through the pearl. Now for this one, because we want to go to the other side, what we're going to do is we're going to come on the opposite side of the bracelet. Let me show you what I mean. So let's, first of all, this is a bit loose. We can get that going, and if you hold on to your clasp and pull, it will tighten all the loops that we made. So this is what I was saying. We're going to go through this side and we're going to go down through these 50 no's. Go through the 50 no's because we want to make our way to the other side. So now we're going to go through this 11-0. And again, this is an opportunity when you can go around the base if you want to secure the thread some more. Get these untangled here. There. There. That's what it should look like. Okay, so now we're going to go up these two 50 no's and we're going to come across this first 11-0. Go through like that. Now we're ready for our next pearl. That. Pick up your pearl. These are Preciosa pearls. And these crystal rivolis are Preciosa, and so are the bicones. Okay, so now we want to go through the side. So we're basically going to do the same thing as we did on the other side. We're going to go back up through the pearl, and then look at which side you went through that 11-0 and go through the opposite side, just to keep it consistent. So go through that side and get everything in there. Okay. Now we're going to do this a few more times till we feel it's secure. If it needs more, it needs more. It's better to go through multiple times than to have it break on you. That'd be sad. Okay. And there. So one more time. And we'll go to the bottom and tie it off, and then we'll start on the other side. So let's go through here. It's starting to, because it's snug, it's starting to get harder to get your needle through. So we're coming out of the pearl. Let's go around the clasp and then up through the pearl. And I'm going to come to the side here so I can go down. You could go down through, say, here, but I found that I didn't like the look of the thread going through the crystals. At a distance, you wouldn't notice it, but I'd just being particular. So let's go on the opposite side here, like that. Okay, I'm going to bring my needle through so you can see what I'm doing here from the back. Okay, so we're coming out of this side of the 11-0. We're going to go down through the 15-0s, through the next 11-0. There. I'm going to go around here. So this should be tighter. There shouldn't be a gap here, but I did find that some of these, one of them in particular was loose and I meant to reinforce it and never did. So this is probably it. So we can reinforce it now just by going around once or twice and then tying off. Just go through like that. Bring it tight so you can see now there's no gap. Okay, I'm going to go through 2 of these 11-0s. I'd like to put my knot in between the 11-0s. So, but you can put it wherever you want. And then I'm going to do a half hitch knot. I do 2 loops around. So I grab the thread that's there and I make sure my needle's in between those 2 beads. Sometimes it'll hook a bead and then you've got a thread crossing over, which I hate. But you know what happens. So then pull that nice and tight and go through to just tighten your knot and to hide your tail end of your thread. Like that. So now it's nice and secure. We can take that off now. So this is the one side. Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh, I gotta find a way to... I'm not on Facebook, so I can't really tell Stephanie. I usually post a comment to her, but I can't show her a picture. So this is actually a short piece of thread. I don't think that's going to work. And of course, let me see where my thread is here. So actually this was a size 6 that I was using. It felt really thin. So I started working again with Fireline. So of course now I'm back into thinking the threads are thicker because they are thicker. But the great thing about this dragon thread is that it's supposed to be as strong and but not as thick, which is wonderful to get through your work. So okay. So now to start on this one here, we want to make sure our thread is secure and that it's not like, you know, hooked into anything here that might like just pull it if you hook on something. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go back 2 components and then cross over through the purl and then do this, but I think we'll just make sure we get around here. So I'm just gonna slide in here to start my thread like that. And I'll show you what I do to make sure that thread doesn't come loose while I'm tying a knot. So if I'm holding it with my fingers till I get near the end. So give yourself a little tail. Make sure that doesn't go anywhere. I'll just hold it with my thumb. So now I'll go through 2. Like that. there, and do the same as what we did before. Find the hook the thread, and then put your thread around. Now hold this and pull it through. There, and pull on that one a bit to make sure the knot is anchored. Okay, and then just go around one more time, and then we can start adding. You can add another knot too. I apologize, my hands are, I have paint on my hands. I did a painting, artistic painting, and the paint didn't come off my hands, so I have a special scrubber for my hands. I know some artists will wear gloves, but you know what? It's so funny. I wore gloves my whole career as a nurse, and I never thought twice about it. There's no way I would do anything without the gloves. And so now I think I'm going to do another knot here because I felt this one slide a bit. So let's go through 2 here. So yeah, when I was nursing, and I wouldn't think twice about putting a pair of gloves on. There's no way you would touch anything otherwise. And now I hate wearing gloves. And I don't think it's because of the nursing. Just what you're used to, right? If you're used to working with gloves all day, then you don't think twice. Okay, so that's tight. That's not moving. That's what I want. So let's come back around. There. And through here. Okay. Now we're going to go up to those little kind of star patterns. So up the 2 15-0s, and the bottom of the star pattern is the 11-0. So we are going to bring it through there and pick up a pearl. These are 4mm pearls, if you didn't know. Sometimes I don't mention the elements because I assume people know, and I apologize for that because that's not a good thing to do. But I'm so used to sizes now that I don't even think about it. So I'm doing this backwards just because I'm holding it backwards. But let's flip it over so you can see the loveliness. So I'm going through the 11-0, the pearl, and the corner of this clasp. I'm going to go back down the pearl, and I'm going to go on the opposite side of the 11-0. So the thread's coming out here. I'm going to go to the other side like that, and it should pull everything nice and tight. And like I said before, if it's loose, don't worry about it because it you can tighten it after you've gone through the amount of times you want to go through. So go through the pearl like that, and through the clasp, around that little bridge part, then back up through the pearl, and we're going to go around, go through the just making sure my thread's not coming off my needle here. So if your stuff, like if this is all loose, hang on to the clasp and pull your thread and it will draw everything in. Let's go through here. We're going to go one more time. I am like really, 3 times for me is usually a lot, but you know what? For some reason, I feel like this is a bit thin, so let's just go through the pearl. Sometimes I try to go through multiple things. Bad idea. It never works out. I end up having to take my thread off, take my needle off. So learn from my mistakes. Just be patient and go through one step at a time. So I have no clue what colors. These pearls, actually, I don't even know what the color pearls are, because when I bought them, they come with tags and they're not labeled by a color. So I had marked one set, but I've since used that set, so I could probably figure it out, but I think these are some type of antique pearl. Okay, so we're done that. What we want to do is we want to come from this side of the 11-0, go through so we can go down in this section here. So through there, through the 15-0s, that, then go around this, through this 11-0 that's connecting the 15-0s, and that's not what I wanted to do. Getting excited. My thread's going out. That's the other thing I find with this thinner thread, is it just kind of like pops up and stuff. With some of the thicker ones, it lays down on your mat, so it doesn't. But I mean, they all have their pros and cons. I definitely like this stuff, so can't complain too much. Okay, so we're up. We're going to go through the 11-0 and just the 11-0. See if I can manage that. That one 15-0 is pretty close behind. That's really hard to see. I apologize. And pick up your pearl. Then, so we're coming outside, so I'm going to go down this side here and through the middle. That. And then we're going to go through the pearl. So you always go through the pearl, in case you're wondering. That's a big one. So then through this 11-0 again. We're going to do this 2 more times. And like I said, if it's loose like that, just hang on to this and pull. And there you go. It's going to get loose again, so I'm not too worried. Go through the pearl. That. And go up through the side. Go through the pearl. Take that. Got caught on my mat. That happens. There, nice and tight. Let's go through the 11-0. And one more time, and we will tie it off. So, get through here. And up through the pearl. There we go. Nice and tight. So let's flip it to the back here. So let's go through this 11-0, down those 2 15s. Like that. And you can go through, if you can get through, go through the next 11-0. There's the 2 15-0s. And double check, nice and tight. Go through this 11-0. I'm going to go around a few of these first and then tie it off. with a nice bent needle. Okay, go through 2. You can do wherever. I mean, I like to have it so that it's in between some nice big beads, which is kind of relative to what you're using. 2, and hold that down. Pull everything through and tighten that knot. Then go around through these guys, and I think we'll do one more knot there. So we'll go through 2, there. Okay. Bring my needle through between those beads and wrap it once and twice. Bring it down. Put your finger on it, and then I'm just going to go through this side, and I will pull, and that will kind of tighten that knot a bit and hide it between the lebanos, and just go through here, that, and we will cut it off. That will be that. So this is what we have. Wow, this is amazing. What? So let's see if we can open it up. It was a little tight. Okay, I think this is on backwards. No, I guess not. I don't know what I'm thinking. There. Ta-da. So there's this lovely bracelet. And that's how easy it is to put you can see this is really tight. So let's open this up. And just do like that. Ta-da! Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I hope this helped, and let me know if there's any ideas you have in mind. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely, if you subscribe, click the notification button, because I don't do a scheduled video. I do them, like, sometimes I'll do 5 in a row, and then I'll do, take a break for 2 days and that kind of thing. So I know sometimes people don't get their notifications, so definitely take a look and do that. And if you like it, it also helps these videos to get out, so it gives me more opportunity to do more videos as well. So that's fun. So stay tuned. Sneak peek for the next video. The next video, I'm going to show you the change that I made to Stephanie's design to accommodate for a larger Rivoli. So she used 12 millimeters and I used 14. So there you go. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We love you. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.